The steady beep of hospital monitors filled my room as I lay there, my legs suspended in a cast ribs, wrapped tightly, and face still bruised from the airbag impact. The accident wasn't my fault. A drunk driver had run a red light and plowed straight into my car. But to my family, I had committed the ultimate sin. I had terrible timing. Sarah, you need to understand. My sister Amanda's voice dripped with condescension as she paced around my hospital bed. This trip has been planned for months. Mom and Dad's 30th anniversary celebration in Italy. We can just cancel everything because you had an accident. I stared at her, wondering if she'd even noticed the bandages covering half my body. Amanda, I paid for most of this trip. My credit cards, my hotel points, my airline. Miles, exactly. She interrupted her designer heels, clicking on the linoleum floor. Everything's already paid for. It would be a waste to cancel. Now our parents entered the room, both dressed for the country club lunch. They apparently couldn't miss even with their daughter in the hospital Mom was already wearing her new Italian silk scarf, a pre-trip purchase she'd been showing off for weeks. Darling, Mom said, barely glancing at my injuries. We've been discussing the situation. Obviously you can't travel in your condition. The doctor said 6 to 8 weeks recovery, and managed to say through gritted teeth, right? Dad chimed in, checking his Rolex, another pre-trip splurge, and we can't possibly postpone. The villa in Tuscany is booked. The private tour soirees arranged. All on my credit cards. I reminded them using my points and miles that I earned through my business trips. They exchanged glances, the kind of superior looks they'd perfected over years of dismissing my achievements. Yes, I was successful in my tech consulting business. Yes, I made excellent money, but of them, I was still the family ATM, good for funding their luxuries, but not quite good enough for real respect. We'll bring you back something nice, Amanda said, patting my uninjured hand condescendingly. Maybe one of those cute little Venetian glass figurines. You collect, I don't collect. I started, but she was already checking her phone. Oh, she squealed. First class lounge access. Sarah, you're a dear for adding that to the bookings. Now we should go pack our flights in 3 days. As they prepared to leave, Mom turned back. Don't worry about the medical bills. Sweetheart, we'll sort those out. When we return from Italy too, weeks will fly by. They swept out of the room, already discussing wine tours and shopping excursions, leaving me alone with my injuries and my thoughts. I looked at my phone on the bedside table, remembering all the passwords, all the accounts, all the reservations made in my name. Time to make some changes, I whispered, reaching for the phone. First, it pulled up my American Express Platinum account, the one funding their entire Italian adventure, the same card that had paid for Amanda's wedding last year, which she'd criticized for being too expensive, despite not paying a cent, and Mom and Dad's anniversary gifts to each other, which they'd claimed they'd pay back someday. Then I opened my airline app, where my executive platinum status had secured their first-class seats, the status I'd earned through countless business trips, while they mocked my constant traveling. Finally, I logged into the exclusive hotel rewards program, where my ambassador elite status had booked their luxury villa in Tuscany, the villa they'd insisted on having, despite my suggestions for a more reasonable option. Let's see how you like flying, coach, I murmured, opening the first cancellation page. If you can even get a flight at all. The nurse walked in just as I started typing. Everything okay, Miss Mitchell? Your heart rate spiked a bit there. I smiled, feeling more energized than I had since the accident. Everything's perfect, just making some long overdue travel arrangements. Array the travel disarrangements. And I was just getting started. The next 48 hours were a masterclass in digital dismantling. From my hospital bed armed, with just my phone and laptop, I systematically unraveled every thread of their precious Italian vacation. First went the first class. Airline tickets, cancelled and refunded to my credit card. The confirmation email came with a satisfying ping that made me smile, despite my bruised cheeks. But I didn't stop there. I called the airline directly. Yes, I'd like to remove all authorized users from my frequent flyer account. It told the representative, and please cancel any pending reservations made with my points. Next came the luxury villa in Tuscany. Not only did he cancel it, but I also used my ambassador elite status to book every available comparable property within a 50-mile radius. Let them try finding last-minute accommodation during peak season. The exclusive restaurant reservations I'd secured through my concierge service, the private wine tour appointments dissolved. The high-end shopping experiences Amanda had been bragging about on social media revoked. My phone started buzzing around noon. The next day, Sarah Amanda's shrill voice pierced my ear. Something's wrong with the airline reservation. They're saying, our tickets are cancelled. I adjusted my hospital bed to a sitting position. Really, how strange. In the hotel, they have no record of our booking. What did you do me? I kept my voice innocent. I'm lying in a hospital bed with multiple injuries. What could I possibly do? Fix this, she demanded. Mom and Dad are devastated. Their anniversary trip, Their anniversary trip that they couldn't postpone for their injured daughter. I interrupted. The one they prioritized over my recovery. Silence on the other end. Then you're being selfish. I laughed, wincing as my ribs protested. Selfish. Let's talk about selfish Amanda. Let's talk about how I paid for your entire wedding last year. The wedding you complained wasn't expensive enough, despite not spending a dime of your own money. That's different. Or how about Mom and Dad's anniversary? Gifts to each, either the ones they bought with my credit card and never repaid, or the countless dinner bills you've all conveniently left for me to handle. We were going to pay you back when oppressed before or after your Italian shopping spree on my cards. Just then, my laptop pinged with another confirmation, the cancellation of their luxury car service. From the airport, I smiled. Oh, and Amanda, those cute little Venetian glass figurines I supposedly collect. I prefer modern art, but you'd know that if you'd ever bothered to visit my house. Sir, you can't do this. We're family, exactly. We're family. And family should care when one of their own is lying in a hospital bed. After a near-fatal accident, family should offer to postpone their trips, not dismiss serious injuries as an inconvenience to their plans. My phone buzzed with another call. Dad trying to get through. I ignored it. The trip is in 2 days. Amanda was nearly crying now. Everything's ruined. No, I corrected her. Everything's fair. You can still go to Italy. You'll just have to do it without my money, my points, my connections, or my help. Consider it a lesson in independence. As I hung up, my nurse came in with pain medication. Rough phone call, she asked, noting my elevated heart rate on the monitor. Actually, I replied, watching another cancellation confirmation pop up on my laptop. It was Keat Therapeutic. But the real fireworks were yet to come, because I hadn't just cancelled their trip, I'd rebooked everything for myself. 4 to 8 weeks from now, when my doctors cleared me for travel, and this time I wouldn't be sharing my luxury villa with anyone, except my best friend who'd actually visited me in the hospital. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just canceling plans. It's making better ones. The next 24 hours brought chaos worthy of a reality TV show. My hospital room became ground zero. For a family meltdown of epic proportions, Mom and Dad arrived. First, Dad's face red with anger. Mom clutching her. Pearls dramatically. Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell. She started using my full name, like I was still a child. What have you done? I looked up from my laptop, where I was finalizing my own future. Italian itinerary exercising financial responsibility. I replied, calmly, something you both should try sometime. Dad stepped forward, attempting his boardroom intimidation stance. This is absolutely unacceptable. Do you know how embarrassing this is? We had to cancel dinner with the Hendersons because we couldn't face telling them our Italy trip was off. Embarrassing. I raised an eyebrow. More embarrassing than leaving your injured daughter alone in the hospital. While you gallivant across Europe, we were going to bring you souvenirs. Mom protested. Souvenirs. Ill-oft. Immediately regretting it, as Myribs protested. I don't need souvenirs. Mom, I needed my family to care that almost died. The room fell silent, except for the steady beep of my heart monitor. That's an exaggeration. Amanda chimed in from the doorway, having just arrived with her husband Todd. The doctor said you'd be fine. Actually, a new voice interrupted, and we all turned to see Dr. Kumar standing in the doorway. Ms. Mitchell was extremely fortunate. The impact could have been fatal if the airbag hadn't deployed correctly. I watched their faces as the reality of my accident finally sank in, but before they could respond, my phone pinged with an email. Oh, look at that, I said, checking the screen. My travel agent just confirmed my personal villa booking for next month. The exact villa you were going to use actually. Apparently they had a cancellation next month. Amanda shrieked, You're rebooking our trip for yourself? Hi, Trip. I corrected her. My money, my booking, my choice of guests, Ismailed at Todd, who was trying hard not to laugh. He'd always seen through my family's behavior. Sorry, Todd. You're not invited. But I'm sure Amanda will find something to do while I'm touring Italy with people who actually care about me, like who Mom scoffed. Like Jessica, I applied referring to my best friend, who by the way has been here every day since my accident, bringing me food, helping me with physical therapy, and actually caring about my recovery. But what about family? Mom stammered. Family, I pulled up my phone's photo gallery. Let me show you something. These are all the messages I received after my accident is started. Scrolling Jessica, my colleagues, my clients, even my coffee shop barista sent well wishes. But from my family, nothing but complaints about how my accident inconvenienced your vacation plans. Dad stepped forward, reaching for his wallet. If this is about money, stop. I held up my hand. This isn't about money. It's about respect, about caring, about being actual family, instead of treating me like your personal bank account. I turned my laptop around, showing them my new itinerary. In 8 weeks, when I'm healed, I'm going to Italy. I'm going to stay in that beautiful villa, tour those vineyards, and enjoy every moment with people who genuinely care about me. And while I'm there, I'll be doing something you've never done. What's that? Amanda asked sullenly, paying for it with my own money. The silence that followed was deafening. Then Todd, bless him, started slow clapping. About time someone said it, he muttered, earning a death glare from his wife. Now, I said, reaching for my pain medication button, I need to rest. My physical therapist is coming soon, and unlike some people, I take my recovery seriously. As they filed out, Mum turned back. Sir, we were sorry. I looked at her, really looked either, seeing perhaps for the first time how shallow their world really was. No, Mom, you're just sorry you lost your free vacation. But don't worry, I hear Rome is lovely. In coach class. As the door closed behind them, I pulled up my messages and sent a text to Jessica. Italy plan confirmed. Ready to be my +1. Her response was immediate. Already planning our outfits. And unlike some people, I'll actually take photos of you instead of just selfies. Sometimes the best family isn't the one you're born into, it's the own you choose. And in 8 weeks, I'd be celebrating that truth. Under the Tuscan sun, 8 weeks later, I stood in the Florence airport, finally free of car sand. Bandages with Jessica by my side. My physical therapy had paid off. I was walking normally, though I still carried stylish cane that Jessica had bedazzled for me, just in case I can't believe we're actually here. Jessica schooled as our private driver, properly paid for with my own money, loaded our luggage into a luxury SUV. What I hadn't told my family was that during my recovery, I'd done more than just plan a vacation. I'd expanded my business into Europe. This recovery trip was actually a combination of pleasure and securing several major tech consulting contracts. Success, as they say, is the best revenge. My phone buzzed with a familiar number, Amanda. Hey sis, I answered cheerfully, putting her on speaker so Jessica could hear. How's the station this? Isn't fair. Amanda wed Mom just showed me. Your Instagram story, a private driver, the villa. You're just doing this to spite us. No, Amanda, I replied, watching the Tuscan countryside roll past our window. I'm doing this because I can, as I earned it. Speaking of earning things, how's that job search going? The silence on the other end was telling. After the cancelled trip fiasco, Amanda's husband Todd had finally put his foot down. About her spending habits, she'd been forced to look for actual employment for the first time in her adult life. I have an interview next week, she mumbled. Really tried to sound encouraging, where another pause. At your company's regional office. Jessica nearly choked on her sparkling water. I kept my voice neutral. Did Mom and Dad put you up to this? No, she protested. I saw the benefits package. And Todd said, he said I need to learn from you about independence and stuff. I smiled, remembering Todd's slow clap in the hospital. The position reports directly to Jessica. You know, my best friend Jessica, who's sitting right here with me in Italy. Hi, Amanda, Jessica called out cheerfully. Don't worry, I'm a fair boss. Though our dress code doesn't allow Gucci or Prada in the office. The SUV pulled up to our villa. The same Onimi family had tried to claim for themselves. It was even more beautiful in person, with sprawling gardens and a view that made the Tuscan hills look like a painting. Amanda, I said, watching our driver unload our bags. If you're serious about the job, I won't interfere, but you'll have to actually work. No special treatment, no family favors. I understand, she said quietly. Sarah, I'm sorry about the hospital. About everything I know, I replied. By the way, I sent Mom and Dad something. It should arrive today. What is it? A photo album with a note suggesting they start filling it with pictures of moments that actually matter, like being there for their children when they're hurt. As I hung up, Jessica linked her arm through mine, ready to start our Italian adventure. I looked at the villa, thought about my expanding business, my true friends, and the lessons my family was finally learning. You know what I think? I've already started it. This is just the next chapter. That evening, as Jessica and I sat on our terrace, sipping wine and watching the sunset, my phone lit up with messages, photos from Mom and Dad at a family counseling session, a picture of Amanda in a business suit, preparing for her interview. Even Todd sent a thumbs up. Emoji, look at that. Jessica Muse, reading over my shoulder. Sometimes you have to cancel a trip to start a journey. Raised my glass to the Tuscan, sky tow journeys, then, and to choosing the right traveling companions. As the sun set over the hills, I couldn't help but smile. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about getting better. And as I sat there, successful healing, and genuinely happy, I knew I'd achieved exactly